The KXAN News Podcast is sponsored by Shelf Genie.
Well, it's the sound people are hearing all across central Texas. Trees cracking under the weight of ice. Who was responsible for the cleanup if your neighbor's tree falls into your yard and vice versa?
And trees are still falling right now, taking down power lines. How many tens of thousands of people in central Texas are in the dark tonight?
And road closures, icy and dangerous roads, snarling travel here and in other parts of Texas. How that could impact you once we thaw out. Well, as the sun sets, hundreds of thousands of Central Texans are in the dark. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Daniel Marin.
And I'm Jennifer Sanders in for Britt Moreno. The number of power outages is getting worse, not better. Nearly a third of Austin Energy customers don't have power. There are more than 800 active outages impacting more than 170,000 customers. And of course, we know a customer could be a home with several people inside.
Earlier today, Austin Power told us they have over 50 different crews working in the field. Encore is also reporting thousands of outages in Williamson County, and the same is true for some Pedernales customers west of I-35.
So we all want to know what is next for us. David, you said in terms of freezing rain and ice, the worst is behind us, but we're not completely done with those slick roads.
That's right. We won't be done with that until about sunrise tomorrow. In the meantime, though, I don't see things getting much worse, especially from Austin southeastward overnight tonight. That's as something critical changes. We'll get to that in just a minute. Live up in Round Rock, though, I-35 moving along fine. A lot of our surface roads are still too warm for widespread impacts in Austin. But look at the ice on the lens. Look at the ice weighing down the trees at the Whittlesey Landscape Supply Company. Chances are your backyard looks similar. Hill country drying out just for the time being, but still some frozen precipitation from Lee County back toward the Austin Metro up to Williamson County. Freezing this, we have some very light freezing drizzle on radar from Cedar Valley and the Wyatt Oak Hill up to Bee Cave, Lakeway, Lake Travis. In Williamson County, some very light freezing mist and drizzle on and off in your area as well. Temperatures are still cold, freezing or colder from Giddings and Austin and Dripping Springs northwestward. But notice a lot of 31s, 32, 33. These are in many areas a little bit warmer than they were yesterday and really largely too warm for widespread roadway icing. Coming up, though, we'll talk about how historic this ice storm is adding up to be. Unusual temperatures that may actually be good news for us overnight and when the icing threat is completely over and the sun comes back out.
All right, David, thank you very much. And you've probably heard and seen a lot of trees snapping today from the weight of the ice.
And we've been receiving your videos with some of those trees falling on homes and even through cars. Our Jayla Washington is live in Round Rock for us now. Jayla, you've been posting a lot of videos and photos on social media, and it looks pretty bad where you're at.
Jennifer, yeah, bad is sort of putting it lightly, right? Like here where I'm at in Round Rock, I just want to kind of walk you through what I'm seeing. Okay, so this is one home right here, one tree down right here nearly blocking the road. You can see it is coated in ice. And that tree over there, it is more than 100 years old and actually uprooted basically the entire front yard. Now, a lot of neighbors are kind of standing by, really just waiting for the next tree to snap or crack or fall. And who knows how long it's going to take for cleanup to take. There are a lot of crews that have been working tirelessly, but it is going to take some time. If you hear this close by, just get out of the way fast as you can.
I thought I was pretty safe until this nice jagged piece here came down, right by my face.
Matt Hudgens, his tree, still coated in ice, fell on patio furniture.
You can see it's kind of busted there.
And he thankfully walked away okay. Talk about walking around on thin ice.
There goes another tree.
Can you hear that?
Larry Quick and his neighbors have been basically waiting to see which tree will fall next.
Oh, it's like...
And that's exactly what happened in his front yard this morning. His wife, Lynn, stunned.
It was perfect silence on all of us. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
The Quicks are trying to stay in good spirits, fully aware of this beautifully tragic situation they're in.
It looks like we have a lot of firewood.
But the magic of the winter wonderland views wear off when reality hits.
Our water pipe to the house ran right underneath the tree, so we have no water. And in the backyard, a tree fell on a power line, so we have no electricity. So we're living by the fireplace.
The Quicks don't know when they'll get this tree out of their yard. A tree trimmer in the area tells me they're all swamped.
We're almost at 100 deep phone calls this morning.
And in some cases, they might even have to wait for ice to thaw.
Because it is going to dull, and in some cases may even break some of the chains.
It's sad, but could have been a lot worse.
Right before you guys came back to me, I just saw another tree branch snap and fall in that home over there. Listen, if you do have trees that are coated with ice, and obviously likely you do, you shouldn't try to shake the ice off. The guy who you heard from who is trying to help people with their trees, he says that that could actually make things worse, causing branches to snap that would have otherwise been fine. Also, you do not want to try to clean this up yourself. As you heard, just be as patient as you can, guys, and certainly stay home and be safe if possible. Guys, back to you.
All right, Jayla, thank you very much. And digging deeper to answer a question that we've heard a lot today, what happens if your neighbor's tree falls onto your property? Dallas area law firm Hargrave Law says it really all depends whether the downed tree is the result of a storm or negligence. Now, natural causes include lightning, water, flooding, and storms. If severe weather caused it, whoever's property the tree fell onto is liable for its cleanup. Now, that does change if it's due to negligence. If a tree was rotting or decaying before it fell, that property owner would be responsible for any damage caused to a neighboring property. We've got more on that law and local debris removal services online at KXAN.com.
And we do have a growing number of schools announcing closures on Thursday. That includes Austin ISD, UT Austin, and Austin Community College. Texas State says they'll operate on a delay. And as you know, there are many more closures and delays. We've got a running list for you right now at KXAN.com.
HEB is changing the hours at some area stores because of the weather. All stores in Kerrville and some in Fredericksburg and Bernie will be closing at 9 p.m. tonight and will reopen at 8 tomorrow morning. And here in Austin, the stores at 41st and Red River, Highway 183 and 290, and Palmer and 1431 are all closed until further notice.
The weather in Memphis pushed back the funeral of Tyree Nichols today, but it did not stop thousands from gathering for a final farewell. The 29-year-old died last month, 3 days after a group of Memphis police officers beat him during a traffic stop. Chris Pallone reports on today's service.
In Memphis, weeks after the brutal police beating that led to Tyree Nichols' death, family and friends paused to celebrate the 29-year-old's life, remembering a man who was a father to a young son and who loved skateboarding and photography.
A good person, a beautiful soul, a son, a father, a brother, a friend, a human being, gone too soon. Denied his rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Denied the dignity of his humanity.
Among those gathered, relatives of other people killed by police across the country, including family members of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, and Vice President Kamala Harris.
This violent act was not in pursuit of public safety. It was not in the interest of keeping the public safe, because one must ask, was not it in the interest of keeping the public safe that Tyree Nichols would be with us here today?
Mourners issuing a call to action to put an end to police killings and vowing never to stop fighting until there's true systemic change to law enforcement in America.
I believe that babies unborn will know about Tyree Nichols because we won't let his memory die, because we refuse to keep living under the threat of the cops and the robbers.
5 Memphis police officers have been fired and charged with Nichols' murder. 2 others have been taken off the job. With the investigation still underway, officials say more charges are possible.
This is a continuous fight that we have to fight for. That's right. We have to fight for justice. Yeah. We cannot continue to let these people brutalize our kids.
That's right. Only thing that's keeping me going is the fact that I really truly believe my son was sent here on an assignment from God.
And while Tyree Nichols' family and friends are fighting for justice, today was a day to pause, to remember, to celebrate, and to say goodbye. Chris Pallone, NBC News.
After waiting out the storm, many businesses are going to have to wait some more, where you should expect to see some supply issues.
Tom Brady is doing it again just ahead. Today's retirement video and how long he says it will last.
And check your medicine cabinet and check with your friends. The over-the-counter eye drops that are under investigation after several people suffered permanent vision loss.
I'll get to the point right away. I'm retiring. For good.
NFL quarterback Tom Brady says he's retiring again. The 45-year-old did not share an explanation for his decision. You might remember it was exactly a year ago that Brady first announced his retirement, then reversed that decision about 40 days later.
The CDC is investigating EzriCare, a brand of over-the-counter eye drops possibly linked to bacterial infections. There have been at least 50 infections in 11 states, including Texas. One person has died, and at least 3 people now have permanent vision loss. Now, there's been no official recall yet, but both the CDC and EzriCare warn against using the eye drops until an investigation is complete. It's believed the product contains a type of bacteria that's resistant to most antibiotics.
Well, again, temperatures at Camp Mabry in Austin have failed to climb above freezing today. 32, the warmest we've been so far today. This makes 56 consecutive hours of freezing temperatures in Austin, our longest freezing stretch since 2 years ago, February 2021. Of course, nowhere near as long as that. That was 6 full days. Your first warning forecast and what to expect overnight next.
This KXAN News podcast is brought to you by Shelf Genie. I'm Rosie Newberry from KXAN Studio 512. Considering replacing your kitchen cabinets? Struggling to find or reach things? Go to shelfgenie.com/Austin. Shelf Genie designs custom pull-out shelves for your existing cabinets, adding convenience and value to the most used room in your home. Shelf Genie custom pull-out shelves, everything in reach.
A huge portion of the state's roads are covered in ice or snow.
We want to show you a map from drivetexas.org. Take a look. It shows just how many reports of issues there are with ice and snow causing accidents and sparking closures.
And KXAN's Monica Madden is live near I-35 to show us how this is affecting travel and the supply chain. Mon.
Hey, Jen. Well, as you know, during rush hour, this part of I-35 is usually just bumper to bumper. But for the most part, folks are staying off the roads. It's pretty clear out here. So while a lot of drivers are heading home, are staying off the roads, I should say. That also includes, semi-trucks and 18-wheelers that are usually delivering goods and products to stores across Texas.
There were a number of crashes yesterday, a number reported again today.
First responders are dealing with scenes like this across Texas. Drivers sliding on icy roads. TxDOT crews working around the clock to clear roads of ice and slush.
Anything that's wet is likely to refreeze tonight, so we want to get as much of that out of the way as possible.
Ice storm warnings in effect for San Angelo and the DFW Metroplex could make for even more dangerous driving conditions.
We're worried that that is going to freeze again. Our big problem areas, of course, are going to be elevated structures, overpasses, bridges, flyovers, elevated roadways.
And beyond personal safety, experts warn to expect supply chain disruptions with current road conditions.
Prove a problem for 18-wheelers that are trying to deliver products. That's going to disrupt at least temporarily.
Texas distributor Cisco Eagle says it's been impacting their ability to get products, and it's something echoed by the Texas Food and Fuel Association.
We just don't want the fuel trucks out in this ice.
Local business owners like Eric and Kristen Turcott are already noticing the impact at their deli.
A bread company was not able to come out for the last 2 days.
They're relying on neighbors for a helpful hand for now.
If we need a bag of French fries or some fry oil, vice versa, we always
we kind of bartered. But aren't expecting some of their deliveries until Friday as Texans weather the storm.
Selling what we got, and whatever we have, so.
Now, TxDOT says they are expecting drivers to be out of the woods by tomorrow afternoon when it comes to road conditions. But again, there is still that possibility of refreezing overnight. So state officials are still urging drivers to be super cautious through Friday morning. Jen, Daniel.
All right, Monica, thank you very much. Let's check back in with David. And David, you were saying that as historic as this storm was, it really could have been a lot worse on the roads.
It really could have, and that's because, guys, what we were talking about that might happen last night ended up happening. Remember, there's warmer air a few thousand feet up in the sky. That heavy rain, almost an inch of rain in Austin last night, did pull down some warmer air. That kept surface temperatures near 32 instead of 29, and that can make all the difference between a lot of ice on your steps, but not the road, and completely icing over the whole city. Because of that warmer air drag down effect, we'll call it, look at the temperatures overnight and early this morning. They actually warmed in Austin. Since then, we have not cracked above the freezing mark, but temperatures actually do something unusual overnight tonight. We'll get to that in a minute. Look how incredible this has been. So far in town, preliminary data from the National Weather Service shows nearly 2/3 of an inch of ice accumulation. That is hundreds of pounds of weight on big oak trees, on power lines, causing all the problems. If this becomes official, this is Austin's biggest ice storm since '07. I know we had more snow in February 2021. I'm just talking about ice. Look at the ice totals just for today in some other towns. These will be going up as we add in yesterday's totals, more than what we've seen in Austin today. In Kingsland, a ½ inch of ice in Blanco County and in Dripping Springs, and the winter storm is not done yet. Still a colorful radar all across the state. Ice storm warnings in effect from San Angelo to Dallas, as Monica was telling us, and it looks beautiful, but it looks cold out here at the Wildflower Center. They, by the way, closed again tomorrow on Thursday for obvious reasons. Look at the radar. We still have a little bit of light freezing rain from Austin northeastward, some liquid rain in the green color a little farther down 71. Hill country temperatures not quite as cold as 24 hours ago, but it's still below freezing. Please be careful with 20s in Burnett, Lampasas, 29 in Cherokee. In the Austin metro, we're not seeing the 20s that we saw yesterday in Leander, but it is cold enough for slick overpasses and bridges. It's 32 downtown, 30 degrees with ice everywhere in Dripping Springs. East of I-35, temperatures a little bit more moderate, 34, for instance, in Cedar Creek. Here's what the temperatures do overnight, and this is a big deal. Downtown Austin, we are about to warm to 33, above freezing for the first time in days, and I think that's where we stay all night, perhaps even warming to 34 by sunrise. That means as this little wave of light precipitation moves out and another one moves in after 10 p.m. tonight, even though it's going to rain again, and it's going to rain hard for many of us, more of this from 2 a.m. through sunrise tomorrow is this green liquid rain. By tomorrow morning, only the highest elevations of the hill country have an icing threat, and tomorrow later in the day, this storm is out of here, although we will still see some cold rain early and cloudy skies throughout the day. Additional rainfall totals, this will be nice and beneficial overnight, 1/4 to a ½ inch. Additional icing totals, look at this, 0 downtown Austin. That's because we expect the temperature to stay just above freezing overnight. Same is true east of 35. Now, with that said, if you're in Leander, on the 183 toll roads, the 45 flyovers, anywhere west of I-35 up in the hills, you do have a continued threat of some mainly elevated roadway icing. Winter storm warning expires tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for most of us. That means the roadway threat ends about that time as well. Okay, tonight, warming slightly, 33 downtown with a 90% chance of cold rain and some freezing rain west of town. 43 tomorrow. All the ice is going to melt from the trees, so be careful. 50% chance of cold rain as temperatures rise to the warmest they've been since, Monday morning, Sunday night? Look at the 7-day forecast. One more cold, gray day tomorrow. A couple of chilly mornings heading into the weekend. But warm sunshine has never looked better. 63 on Saturday. Outdoor plans even warmer on Sunday at 71. Next week, a chance of thunderstorms, but warmer weather starting on Tuesday.
Oh, we've been telling you about all the power outages affecting people across Austin.
And it's been causing some strange sounds. Okay, this is near Barton Springs. A Chuy's employee captured that video near the restaurant just after noon.
See it through the windows, and you could hear it. It was kind of an explosion, so people jumped up and kind of ran to the windows.
Austin Energy's outage map shows that outage is impacting close to 3,000 customers, and it's still not clear when it will be back on.
We've got some good news to share about the Travis County deputy injured yesterday while responding to an icy crash on SH 130. The deputy was trying to help the driver of an 18-wheeler that had gone off the road when another 18-wheeler slid on the icy road. The deputy was then pinned under one of the tractor's tires for about 45 minutes before crews freed him. Well, today the sheriff's office says his surgery went well and he is alert and talking with friends, and he is expected to make a full recovery.
Thanks for listening to KXAN News Nightly. You can also listen to KXAN News Today every morning for more in-depth coverage of what matters most to you.